Hello YouTube, Hypnotic Gene's back again with another opinions from a fan. I'd like to thank everybody for the great feedback from the last video. A lot of good messages. So I'm going to try to do at least one of these once a week. Maybe two, depending on how I'm feeling. Unfortunately today, no cream soda. I have a A&W root beer today. A&W root beer. So... but I digress. Anyways, today we're going to talk about Chris Masters in a sombrero and how that affects the wrestling business. No, I kid. I'm just kidding. We're actually going to talk about TNA Impact today, and then I'm going to give my predictions for No Way Out, which is this Sunday. So, moving on. TNA. First, we had the first actual match we had on TNA this week was Team 3D versus Curryman and Shark Boy. Of course, it was the first match. As the first segment was the Samoa Joe contract signing, which just didn't really actually take place. So they're just gonna drag this one out as long as they can, apparently. But as for the Team 3D Curryman Shark Boy match, they're doing this thing with Shark Boy, the Stone Cold Shark Boy, which makes no sense to me. I don't see where they could possibly be going with this. You know, I like to have direction in these angles and gimmicks and things, but this one I don't see where this is going anywhere. They had their in-ring weigh-in for Team 3D, which I thought was kind of weird because I thought the stipulation was they had to be under the 275 if it was for X Division matches, not for every match they're going to be in. I found that could be kind of weird. So, you know, Brother Devon was able to get underweight. Brother Ray is not. So they had the match. It was a handicap match. And a lot of cheating, you know. Next match was supposed to be Scott Steiner versus Abyss. Interesting thing, you know, Abyss walks away, takes off his mask. Found that very interesting. I wonder where it really got me going, thinking about where they're going to be going with this. Really wondering what they're going to do. Makes you want to see what they're going to do with that. So they switched it over to Scott Steiner versus Petey. They also debuted, I had Scott Steiner's new freak, Rockacon. And it was a good match. You know, I like Petey Williams. I think he's really talented in the ring. Not so much a fan of Steiner, but we were able to give a good match. Next we had Tonko and AJ versus Joe and Nash. I'm not a big fan of what they're doing with AJ Styles. With the whole being a lackey for Christian and now for Kurt Angle. And, they took AJ, who was a main eventer back in the day, in the early days of TNA. They just kind of put him in this comedy lackey role, and it doesn't work for me. Of course, then I have Tomko joining Team Angle. Kind of liked him better as the lone wolf, kind of, I'm going to do my own thing, Tomko. But, it was a good match, because I enjoy Tonko, AJ, and Joe in the ring. Nash not so much, but it was still a good match. And then we had Relic versus Eric Young. And of course, let you on a little secret here. Relic is killer backwards. I didn't know if you knew that. But hey, just letting you know. And that's all I have to say about that match. Jimmy Rave and Chris Sabin and Homicide in a three-way. My opinion, that was match of the night. It was an excellent match between those three guys. Makes you wish they would do more with the tag team division in TNA. Because they have some, even those three teams right there, the Rock and Raven Faction, Motor City Machine Guns, and LAX, along with Tomko and AJ, they could be having some great tag team matches, and they could really be showcasing their tag team division. But they're not doing that. You had Rhino returning. I like Rhino. Can't wait to see what he does in coming weeks. Then you have ODB versus Awesome Kong. I really don't understand what ODB is supposed to her gimmick's supposed to be. She drinks from a flash, does some weird chicken dance, yells "bam." Somebody could explain that to me, I'd be very appreciative. But like I said last time, I don't watch WWE for women's wrestling. I go to TNA for that, and this was no exception. These are two great women's wrestlers, along with Gail Kim. They have all these great women who can wrestle on TNA, so props to them for that. And you had the Angle wedding, which ended with apparently AJ marrying Karen Angle, which is kind of weird to me because I thought it was just a renewal, not an actual wedding. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of confused me for a little bit, but should lead to some funny stuff coming up later. So that was TNA Impact. It was a good show for the most part. Not some of their best work, but it was good. And now my predictions for No Way Out this Sunday. First we have Kennedy and Flair. I don't see, with the stipulation being if Flair loses, he has to retire. I don't see I don't see Flair retiring now. I see it probably coming at WrestleMania, so I'm giving the nod to Flair for that one. Then we have Chavo versus CM Punk for the ECW title. I'm going to give the nod to Chavo. He's probably going to win that match, probably with a little bit of interference, probably from either Edge or Edge's crew or Vicky or something. And then you have the SmackDown Elimination Chamber: Batista, Undertaker, Khali, Big Daddy V, MVP, and Finlay. I don't have it too much. My hopes aren't too high for this match. If they could get Khali and Big Daddy V out first, they might be able to save it a little bit. But, I don't expect too much. I'm giving the nod to Batista. It's probably the guy they're going to push onto the front for that match. And then the Raw Elimination Chamber, you have Triple H, Jeff Hardy, HBK, Y2J, JBL, and Umaga. Should be the better of the two Elimination Chambers. A lot of talent in there. I'm going to have to go with either Triple H, and if not Triple H, it's going to be Jeff Hardy to win that match. One of those two guys are probably going to end up going to WrestleMania to face the winner of the Cena-Orton match. And then you have Ray versus Edge for the world title, which is interesting because some of you might know Ray is injured, was injured on the overseas tour, so he may not be able to compete. But if he does compete, I'm still going to give the nod to Edge. I don't see Ray getting the title anytime soon again, yeah. And finally, you have Orton Cena. I have to go with Cena. Much as I'm not a fan of him, but I see him taking the title to WrestleMania and probably through WrestleMania. So, like I said, I'm probably going to do at least one of these videos a week. I look forward to your support, your comments, your critiques, whatever. Love you guys. See you next time. Hypnotic Jeans, signing out.